So I choose one of the applications. So on the left hand side, click on the Visual C Sharp. On the right hand side, click on the console application on the .NET Framework environment. Now this is very important that you choose a correct application. So before doing a programming, one should be very clear in our mind that what we aim at, what kind of application which we plan to design. Then you can give the name to your console application. Then you need to give a location. If you want to change a location, you can change a location or you keep the default location as it is. Then you give the name to the solution which you are creating. So we are creating a new solution. Let it go that way. Then you give the name to the solution and then finally choose a framework. So there will be many framework on your environment IDE. Choose the latest one so that you can get the best possible features. Then make sure the checkbox create directory for solution is clicked and you can go and click on the OK push button. That is how we create a project console application in our IDE. Now this is how it is going to typically look like. By default, few of the namespaces will be accessible to your program. So as we discussed earlier, using is a directive. System is a name of the namespace. So by default, few namespaces will be available for our program like system, system.collection.generic, system.linkqueue. Linkqueue is a language integrated query, system.text, and system.threading.task. Now all these systems namespaces have got their own predefined purposes. So as and when we'll discuss the programming language, we'll discuss why they are used and what is their purpose. So initial 5 lines we are going to have like this. Then 7th line onward, a new namespace has been created for our program. It's called console application. Then we create a program by default class and the name of the program. And then on the line number 11, we'll have a static void main string and the args. What is the meaning and the purpose of it? Let's redo it once again. Now, similar, just like in Java, same way in C Sharp, the main function is encapsulated within the class. And till this point of time, we have not instantiated the class. That means the object or the reference variable of the program class is not available to us. Now, in such an environment, how will the CLR, the common language runtime, which is the equivalent of the Java virtual machine, will make a call to the main function because we have not instantiated the class. The reference variable is not present. So without the reference variable, how it will make a call to the main function, which is boxed or which is encapsulated, which is closed within the program. Now what solution has been provided that we make a main function independent of the object of a class, and that has been done using a keyword called static. Now there is a lot of debate whether it is a good way or a bad way, because the basics of the object-oriented programming says that first thing the user has to do is create an object of a class, and then he starts doing the other programming in the object-oriented programming like data abstraction, polymorphism, encapsulation, inheritance, whatever he would like to do in a typical object-oriented programming, he can go ahead and do it. But first thing first, he needs to instantiate the class. Now in this scenario, what we are doing, we are not instantiating a class. Rather, we are making a function independent of the object of a class, so that CLR can directly make a call to the main function. Now that also gives a threat to the user that he can also do the same thing. He also may not instantiate the class. Suppose there are 3 or 4 functions, he can directly call them by the name of the functions. So there's a lot of debate whether this is a good approach or a bad approach by making the main function independent of an object of a class. Then void is a return type. That's known to everyone in almost all the programming language goes same way. Main is a name of the function. Every programming language, C, C++, Java, C Sharp, .NET, every programming language has one main background function which keeps on running for the entire duration of the program, the main function. Now only thing which you remember is M here is in the uppercase. Then it receives the array. What is the type of the array? The string type. And the name of the array is args. Again, we need to remember that S of the string is in the lowercase. Now, if I want to display anything to the user, so what do I do? System.console.writeLine. And then whatever I want to display, I can write the same string back to the user. So system.console.writeLine and then hello world. Now I want a screen, the output window should remain there for a few amount of seconds. So what I can do, just like what we used to do in a typical C or C++ environment, I make a call to the read key function of the console class. Now system, I have already imported earlier, so it's already in the available here. So what I can do here, I can clean off the system and I can directly start using the name of a class. So system is the name of the namespace, console is the name of a class, writeLine is the name of the function. So writeLine is the equivalent of what we used to say printf or cout or system.out.println. So C taught us that we'll have a printf, then C++ taught us cout, and Java taught us system.out.println. So whatever I want to print, I can do it with the help of the hello world application. Now read key has been written just to make sure that the window remains there on my system for a small duration of time. Just like we used to write the get ch function, get the character, just to make sure that the system, the output window remains there. And we used to make a call to the conio.h right at the top, so the window remains static for a small duration of the time. Now we can go and run the program. So I click on the start in the option, the toolbar, and I can see the output window. It's hello world written. That is how we can execute a very simple static program. I don't say simple program, it's a very simple, it's not a static program, simple program in the C Sharp.NET. So every programming language have got their first hello world program. So this is C Sharp hello world program. So I hope all those who are joining today for the first time, this is how we are going to do the C Sharp.NET programming. What we need to do, what steps we need to perform: download the Visual Studio, make sure we download the required APIs on our system, configure it, install it. If there is any doubt, a lot of YouTube videos are there, you can refer to them if you find any problem in the downloading and configuration and the installation of it. And then slowly and steadily start working on the programs. That's the best way to do it. Start from the very simple programs, just like I did for the hello world. And then gradually you can build up on the more programs. Now, when we talk about the more programs, let's see the program related to the string handling. Now here what we do here, we create a string by the name department name, and we give the name of the department as USICT, right? Now this is what has been supplied by the programmer or by the end user. Now we have got a function called toUpper. Now what will this toUpper do? It will convert the lowercase string to the uppercase string. The name itself tells us. So we say department name dot toUpper, so that the uppercase USICT gets converted and it is stored into a variable called department name. And then we display the same thing to the user, console.writeLine and the department name. But now the output will be all in the uppercase because we made a call to the toUpper function in the line number 40. So this is a program that talks about what are the different features available for the handling of the strings in C#.NET. I'm discussing few of them, It's very difficult to discuss all of them in a single class, but then using a IntelliSense compiler, all the predefined functions are available for us. So depending on our requirement, we can make a call to these functions. Another function which is very useful is the trimming. So we create a string class variable called university, and let us say we initialize it with a string called USICT GGSIPU, and intentionally some leading and the trailing spaces are left in it. Now I want to remove them. So what do? We make a call to the trim function over the string class variable the university. So it will make sure that all the leading and the trailing spaces, which is a waste, is all cleaned off. And then we display again the name of the variable console.writeLine and the university. In this way we can clean off the leading and the trailing spaces and display the output to the user. Then another function which we widely use in this while we handle the string is contain. Means we are searching for the occurrence of one string in another string. So how do we do that? We have got the first string, the base string. So it's called string university1, and then we create a string. So I say USICT GGSIPU Dwarka India. So I've created a string by university1, and I initialize it with a certain string from my own site. Now I want to search whether this long string contains the name of the university GGSIPU or not. So what do? Over this variable university1, we make a call to the contains function, and I pass the name of the string whose occurrence I want to search in the base string. So it will always return me the value as boolean variable true or false. That is why on the left hand side in the line number 20 we have got bool is contains. So it will tell me whether what the string I am searching for is found in the base string or not. So I will also always get the answer as true or false. So in the line number 21, console.writeLine and the is contain. Now since GGS IPU is present here, I will get the output as true. If it would not have been present here, I will get the values false. That's very clear. I can see the without seeing the actual output, I can see this is going to come, right? Then let's see another equally very useful function, the substring function, which we use across variety of programming languages. If I want to extract certain characters from the already available string, so what do? I make a call to the substring function. Again, the way we write the function, that should be very clean and very light, because otherwise it will not execute it. So we declare string class variable university address, and then we initialize with the content. So USICT, GGSIPU, Dwarka and India. Then over this string, we make a call to the substring function. Now I need to define positions from to, means starting and the ending position. So I say start from the third characters. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So here the 0 position is U, S is for the first, second and the third. So I want the substring function to work from the third position, 0, 1, 2, 3. And then till it should, how long it should work? It should go on till the 6th. So it will include the spaces also in between. Then I can display the same output, what are the substring I have extracted. So console.writeLine, university address, and then read key we all know. It will just hold on to the window for a small duration of the time. So there are 3 or 4 things I am doing here in this program. First of all, converting into the uppercase, then applying the trimming function for trimming of the leading and the trailing spaces, then searching for the existence of a string within a larger string or within a sentence or within a paragraph, and then applying the substring function. So I click on the start to see the output of the program. So I can see here, first of all, the string has been converted to the uppercase USICT. Then leading and the trailing spaces are all cleaned off. So USICT GGS IPU. Then we searched for the occurrence of a name of a university within a string GGS IPU. So I get the answer as true. And then the substr function. So 3 comma 6, that is how it is worked from. So from the third position, it will extract the 6 characters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is how it will typically work like. Now there are many more functions here. This is not the only thing that what we can use of. So we all know how to go for it. If I would like to have a search over the more functions, you just press dot. The IntelliSense compiler will all work, and it will provide the information about many number of the more functions. So you just press dot with a name of with a string, and it will give you the various number of the functions available. What you would like to do: contains, copy, count, default, equals. If I want to compare the two string whether they're equal or not, the equals is a good function for that. So enumerator, type, group, index of, join, max, min, order by, removes. There are many number of the functions which you can make a call depending on your requirement, what you are doing in your particular project or in your applications. So around more than 50 plus functions are available which can be called, which can be used to depending on my application requirement, because all these functions are all typically your application requirement based. If you don't need them, that there is no need to make a call to all these functions. But when you need them, you must have a knowledge that these functions exist and you can directly use them rather than writing your own code for the contains function or for the substring functions. So that's the beauty of the various inbuilt functions available within a C#.NET. I can directly make a call to it and the Visual Studio will provide me with the help, and then I can use it within my program. So that is how the string related functions work like. So let's carry on and do some more programs, and the next program which we are going to discuss is going to be of the arrays. So arrays, we all know, we have already done it in the previous programming languages. It's a collection, or it's a homogeneous, it's a collection of the homogeneous characters. So unlike the structures, which is a heterogeneous collection of the element, the arrays is all the collection of the homogeneous elements. So there are various ways I can declare the array. So this is a very simple program that declares the integer array. So there are multiple styles. There are multiple programming styles as well as syntax how I can declare the array. We'll discuss another program where we will discuss the various syntax and the various programming style how the arrays are declared. Now this is a program which is very simple. We declare integer array, and what is the array declaration style we use? Int square brackets, then we declare the name of the array, the numbers, and then we initialize the array with certain elements. So 5, 1, 0, -1 and 100. Now right at the top we have used a link queue here. Now this link queue provides us with the max, min and the sum function related to the arrays. So I can if you can see here, the link queue is no longer gray in color, it's now black in color. So since we're using a predefined function available in the link queue, so language integrated query. So we say console.writeLine, and then we use the name of the array and dot max function. Then again the name of the array dot min function, and then again the name of the array dot sum function. So these are all the predefined function available within the link queue. So what is a very simple program it is. We declare an array we initialize the array. The type of the array is integer type, and in the array we once it is initialized, certain elements are placed in it. So we don't place any decimal or floating point numbers because the array is an integer type. So 5, 1, 0, -1 and the 100. So when we say max, so the output should be 100. When we say min, the output should be -1. And when you say sum, so what will be the output? 5 plus 1, 6, 6 minus 1, 5, and then 100 plus 5, 105. So we should be able to obtain the output as 105. And then we, as usual, we make a call to the read key function, which will hold on to the window. So very small simple program wherein array has been used and certain predefined functions available with the link queue has been used to check for the existence of the max and the min element and the sum of all the elements of the array. So let us see the output of it. So we click on the start and we get the output which is there on the window. The maximum, the value of the element which is maximum is 100. Then the element which is lowest in value is -1. And then the sum of all the elements of the array is 105. So that is the way how we obtain the output of a program, using a collection of these very simple functions, max, min and the sum, because these functions become very useful when we design a small project for, let's say, designing a calculator or designing any mathematical applications, because it saves a lot of energy and time of the programmer. Otherwise you need to write your own code for getting the output from your application. So a very simple program that helps us to deal with the array and the elements of the array. Let's take another program that how we can declare multiple kind of the arrays, what are their styles. That should make the things much more clear. Yeah. So I don't disturb the upper structure of the program, that remains as it is. We are more concerned regarding the syntax and the style. So let's say I create a array by the name country. Now here what I am doing, I am creating an array of the 4 elements and I will add on the values later on. So as a programmer, I am just creating an array of the 4 elements. It has not been initialized, so nothing has been added as of now. So I say string array open close brackets, so nothing has been passed here. Then the name of the array is equal to new. New is an operator which we all know it was introduced from the C++ time, that new performed the dynamic allocation of the memory, which was used in C++, Java also as it is, and same way we carry forward in the C#.NET. So new is an operator for the dynamic allocation of the memory in a program. And string, again we need to remember the S of the string is in the lower case and not in the upper case. And then we declare the array of the 4 elements, but we have not initialized it. So that is a one way how we declare the arrays. Now I create another array, but I initialize the values. So if you look at the syntax and the line number 15 and 18, the only difference that comes here is that here it was terminated by semicolon, but here I have initialized it. So string square brackets country 1, the name of the array, new string square bracket 4, and I've got the name of the countries attached here: India, US, UK and the Australia. So that's the second way I go and create the array. Now let's say look at the third way. I say string country 2 is equal to new string, and I do not specify the number of the element the array is going to contain. So I leave it square bracket open ended. So India, US, UK and the Australia. That's another way how I can create the arrays in C#.NET. And let's look another array, create an array of 4 elements. Here I do not use the dynamic allocation of memory. What do? String square brackets, I give the name of the array, and then directly I initialize the elements into the array. So India, US, UK and Australia, which are the name of the countries. Now what I can do from the line number 25, I can start playing with the array. I can perform various functions. For example, I want to calculate the length of the array. So what do? I specify the name of the array, which is country3, and dot length property. This will return me the length of the array. So there are 4 elements, so I will get the output as 4. If I want to sort the content of an array, so what can I do? Over the array, I make a call to the sort function, and then I specify the name of the array which need to be sorted. So right now it's India, US, UK, Australia. So it will get sorted on the basis of the first alphabet. And then we display the content of the array, which is very simple. So for int I is equal to 0, I less than array name dot length and I plus plus. And then I can display each and every element of the array one by one. So console.writeLine, within parenthesis the name of the array, within a square bracket the index position or the index number. So initially I is 0, so first element will get displayed, then I is equal to from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3, because only 4 elements are there in the array. So then I is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, and you'll be able to display all the elements of the array successfully. So we run the program to see the output. So first of all, we get the total number of element into the array, that were 4. Then we ran the for loop. So Australia, India, UK and the US. And if you remember here in the line number 26, we have sorted the content of the array. Initially in the line number 25, the length of the array is displayed. So we get the value 4. Then line number 26, we sorted the content of the array. So it comes the sorted order: Australia, India, UK, US. And then we run the for loop over the sorted array. And then it displays as a sorted output of the array, starting from A, I, U and U. That's how we can create multiple arrays. The different programming style, different syntax are there, how to deal with the arrays. And there are multiple number of the predefined functions which we can run over the arrays and display the desired output. So we can have the length function. We can go for the sort function, and you press array dot, and the IntelliSense compiler gets invoked up, and various number of predefined functions are now available for us. Whether I want to copy, equals, exist, find all, find index, find last, for each, index of, index last, index of, reverse, if I want to reverse the content of the array, sort we have already used. So many number of the predefined functions are available for array class. I can use them within my program depending on my requirement. So only if your requirement is there in your application, then only you make a call to the specific function.